$3.9 billion. That's how much Forbes magazine says the family that actually owns the Cincinnati Bengals is worth. More than $3 billion of that wealth was built in the last 20 years after the team moved into Paycor Stadium. WCPO9 I-Team reporter Dan Monk has been looking into the team's finances as it negotiates for a lease extension with Hamilton County. He found the Brown family made some shrewd investments with their stadium profits.
When Bengals owner Mike Brown made the Forbes 400 list for the first time last year, people noticed.
Forbes had 400 of the richest people in the country, and only one was listed from Cincinnati and Hamilton County. It was the owner of the Bengals. So we know there's some money in this lease.
Hamilton County Commissioner Alicia Reese was the first to link the Brown family's wealth to stadium negotiations in a meeting last month.
And we can't build another thing until we straighten out the relationship contractually between the taxpayers and the Bengal ownership.
Forbes data shows the Bengals' revenue grew faster than expenses during its lease with the county, allowing the team to rake in more than $1 billion in operating profits. But that isn't what made the Brown family billionaires. Buying out Dutch Knowlton made that happen. When the Bengals began in 1967, Knowlton was its largest shareholder. When the team reached its first Super Bowl in 1982, Knowlton owned even more. But in the 1990s, the Brown family bought out another founding shareholder named John Sawyer. And they signed an option agreement to buy 60 shares from Knowlton for $6 million. After that deal closed in 2002, Knowlton's family claimed the price was too low and Knowlton's will should be voided. The family lost that court fight, and in 2011, the Bengals bought 176 additional shares from Knowlton's estate, and that gave the Brown family 97% ownership of a team that is now worth $4.1 billion, according to Forbes.
It's an excellent investment.
Jeff Capel is a Blue Ash City councilman and longtime critic of the Bengals stadium deal, in which the county pays most of the bills and the team gets most of the revenue.
The Brown family are the biggest welfare recipients in Hamilton County. Every time we are spending money on a taxable purchase in Hamilton County, we are transferring our wealth to make a billionaire family even wealthier.
Capel doesn't begrudge the Bengals for boosting its ownership stake. He just wants the county to strike a harder bargain.
Hamilton County commissioners definitely need to make sure that the Bengals are making a significant investment into their own home, into their own building.
Northern Kentucky University professor Joe Cobbs says a wealthier Brown family could be good for taxpayers and fans.
I think they are more focused on wanting to produce a winning or at least competitive club, whereas in those previous decades where you mentioned, maybe they were more concerned with how do we consolidate our ownership.
Cobb said a team with a strong local ownership group is more likely to stay in Cincinnati and invest in its future.
I do think that they have shown recently, just in the last few years, certainly a willingness to invest in the superstars that they have on their team.
But Capel won't be satisfied until the county eliminates the half-cent sales tax that financed Paycor Stadium and the rest of Cincinnati's riverfront.
We know that there is all that debt through 2032 to pay off, so we know we'll have to be paying it until that point. But now, at that point, we'll have had a 36-year tax that should have gone no more than 20 years. And the county commissioners definitely need to make it a priority to structure the finances in a way to where that will be the last year we have to pay this tax.
I made several attempts to reach members of the Brown family, but they were not interested in participating in this story. However, they did make their feelings known in this January 9th letter to Hamilton County. They said their stadium deal helped make the Cincinnati riverfront a national urban showplace, and it helped make the Bengals one of the NFL's best teams. At Paycor Stadium, Dan Monk, WCPO9 I-Team.